This episode contains discussions about mental health, including topics such as depression, anxiety, and suicide. Please take care while listening and consider skipping this episode if you're not in a place to engage with these topics. If you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out to a mental health professional or contact a crisis line. And one more thing before we dive in, I just wanted to say on a personal note, when my husband took his life, a lot of people asked me how he did it, why he did it. Did he leave a note? Was he depressed? None of those things are really important other than to say that leaving behind a family, he left me behind 3 children, a mother, siblings. It is the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. People often ask me if he was depressed. And all I can say is, of course he was depressed. The sad part is I didn't see how depressed he was. And for someone to take their life, you know, if you're happy and life is going well, you're enjoying life. You're not looking for a way to exit this earth. So, think about that the next time someone you know has, or a family friend or whatever has to deal with suicide. It always involves depression. And I wish I had reached out for help. And if I had known the severity of it, I would have done that. So, you know, I try to make light of it sometimes when people ask me and I say, you know, if you're unhappy in life, most people, they'll go out and buy a sports car. They'll have an affair. They'll go buy a fancy watch or take an expensive trip. People don't think that people are going to take their life when they're unhappy. And it's such a different diagnosis. If you're diagnosed with cancer or you know, a blood disease that takes your life, suicide is very different because you choose to take your life and leave the people that loved you and cared about you. So I just needed to say that before we get going on this episode today. Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thanks for joining us today. We're so excited to be back with another episode today.
We absolutely are. Today, we're going to be answering more of our fan questions. So make sure, guys, that you're still submitting them because we love reading them, talking about them, giving our advice, and you know how to do it. BachelorNation.com/golden hour. And just keep them coming.
Keep them coming. Send us everything. We really love to hear from you, your questions, your comments. We love to get updates on questions that we've answered on prior episodes. So please write into us. You can also DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour.
And people are starting to do that, Kath. Yeah. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's time to get into the episode. And we're going to start with our favorite part, the question of the day.
Okay, before we do that, can I just say this, you know, Susan, you know me, I laugh a minute, love to make jokes, but this episode, and for all y'all listening, this is a very close to home subject for me. Mental health is what we're going to be talking about in this episode. And you all know my husband died by suicide, which is right up the alley of mental health issues. So for me, this is going to hit a little close to home, but we're going to do it. And I hope that this episode is going to help a lot of people struggling with these kinds of issues. So go ahead, start us off with the question of the day.
Absolutely, Kathy. What has it been like seeing how society has evolved when it comes to mental health? How did you manage your mental health when you were younger?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is society has evolved. Social media has caused a lot of difficulties for people for many reasons. People seeing the life they want to live or seeing FOMO, like everyone else has a great life, but I don't. Right. And so much of social media is the life you wish you were living, not really the life you are living, or just posting about the best things in your life. And nobody's life is perfect all the time. I think that's part of the problem. I think the other thing is that we are seeing so much more mental illness in society. We see many more homeless people than when I was growing up, people who have drug and alcohol issues. All of those are issues that come under the umbrella of mental health. And I just think we see more of it. Why? I don't know. I think the world has become a more complex a place to live.
I do believe, though, that society is more aware of mental health. I mean, look at the shootings at the schools and all the things that have happened in the last decade. More people acknowledge and realize mental health is a huge thing. And if you feel like somebody in your family needs help, you get help. Also, as far as social media, there are things out there to help people,
well, so
that are struggling.
So, and I've said this before, when, and I know this is not necessarily a popular thought, but it is. My husband's been gone for almost 6 years, and I still hold this to be true. When you have someone who's threatening suicide, and they say call a suicide hotline,
Right.
Somebody who's decided to take their life is going to do it. Maybe not today.
I think when they call those hotlines, it's a cry for help sometimes.
Yes, but sometimes they're not there. So
yes,
I think it takes a lot of money, effort, resources to deal with mental health. Mental health, like I said, is the big umbrella. And I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think our society spends enough, and maybe there's lots of reasons for that, but I don't think we spend enough on mental health. And that's why I think kids today have a tougher world than we had. They have a lot more pressure.
When I was growing up, I'd never heard of some things like bipolar and people that are medicated and then they feel like they shouldn't take the medicines. They don't like the way they feel. Autism is another one that I didn't hear of as a child.
Well, autism isn't a mental health issue. That's but your point is well taken. That that things that alcohol and drug issues are either more prevalent today or they're just out in the open more today.
Much more.
Either
as they
way,
should be.
Yes, but either way, to address these issues, when you take someone and you throw them in jail, really they're not criminals. They have mental health issues. So it's, you and I aren't about to solve this problem today. But I think when I was younger, you know how I managed my mental health? I truly played a lot of sports. I read a lot. I kind of the same things I do now, frankly. I exercised, I read, I hung out with friends, but I think the competition is so much stronger today.
Yes, it is. And social media. I mean, that's a huge. If you feel like you're not important on social media, then you're nobody. It's sad what people do.
Well, and the other thing I think that affects, I mean, there's so many things we could do. We could write a book, literally, but the isolation that kids feel today behind their computers, their screens all the time.
Yes.
I think that affects people's mental health.
It does. It does. I'm looking forward to hearing what some of our fans wrote in for this.
Your business deploys AI pilots everywhere. But are they going anywhere?
Options out there. Your doctor should feel for it. Next one on
weeks, there's going to CVS Health app.
And you get a free Samsung by.
Personally love hanging out with friends in the backyard, unwinding, telling stories. Malibu responsibly. Copyright 2025. Imported by Pernod Ricard.
But it's still very much an uphill battle trying. My mom does not understand mental. Okay, well, let's get to it then.
Okay. You want to start?
All right. Here.
Enjoy Malibu responsibly. Copyright 2025. Imported by Pernod Ricard. USA, New York, New York.
Okay, well, let's get to it then.
Okay. You want to start?
All right. Here we go. The first question is from Anonymous. Hi, ladies. I really need your help. I'm 19 and my mom does not understand mental health. I've always struggled with what I now know is severe anxiety and OCD. I only recently got a diagnosis. It's been life-changing, but it's still very much an uphill battle trying to manage it. I could really use my mom's support, but she thinks it's all made up, which I find really hurtful. I've even allowed my psychiatrist to contact her and talk her through my diagnosis, and she still just doesn't get it. For example, my brother has ADHD, and all she says is, if you wanted to focus, you would. How do I get her to understand? I really need all the support I can get right now. My dad is on my side, but won't even try to get through to her. Thanks, ladies.
Wow.
So
That's a
19,
shame.
I mean, that is a tough age right
It
there.
is. That is. And her mom just doesn't get it when she blames her for things.
See,
That's
I
terrible.
think the mom gets it exactly. I think the
She's in
mom,
denial.
no, well, I don't know. I don't know her, but I think she looks in the mirror and thinks her kids have these problems because of some way she failed her children.
You feel like she
That's what I
feels
think.
guilty about
She
something.
feels guilty that she somehow caused these things. And I think parents sometimes,
I mean, I've said it to my kids. If you want to focus, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. And here, two of them had a learning disability.
Right.
And until I went and had them tested and met with the school people, I understood and I felt terrible.
I
Because
think
my daughter was dyslexic. She was
Yeah.
reading back. Why aren't you getting this,
Yeah.
Brittany? She
But
couldn't
again-
explain it.
again, the issue of mental health, dyslexia, ADHD, these are all dyslexia is educational, neurological, and OCD and these behaviors come from, different situations in life. The point is, this girl that we're talking about has
Needs
a
her mom.
psychiatrist and needs
Right.
her mom. And if the psychiatrist can't get through to the mom, I think the mom does know. I think she just can't face it sometimes, which again makes it really tough on the child because
It does. It does.
teenagers in this day and age
And-
need a lot of support.
And I think lean on your dad more than your mom. Like, you're not going to convince her yourself, and it's only going to upset her. So let your dad handle that.
Well, she said, my dad is on my side, but won't even try to get through to her. You know what I would say to you, Anonymous? I would lean on your friends. I know it's tough. I would find teachers, school counselors, someone at church. I would find people that can support you. We all want our parents to be great supporters. Sometimes they just can't be. And you
What
know
about
what?
some reading material and pamphlets on what it is and have her read them? Denial is not understanding, it's denying. And
Right.
that, like you said in the beginning, maybe she feels some certain way that my children have this. Could it have come from me?
Right.
You know?
So that's
But-
what I'm saying. I don't think she's
Yeah.
denying it. I think she can't face it because
Yes.
she's blaming herself. The mom's blaming
Yeah.
herself. But sweetie, I hate that you're feeling not supported. So I would really encourage you. We all want our parents to support us, but sometimes they just can't. So
No.
you need to find some people who
Find
will.
the people that will support
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Exactly.
And let
thanks
us
for
know,
sharing it.
hoping,
Yes.
hoping you're on the right medication, hoping that you feel better. And teenage years are tough. It will get easier as you get older. It
Yes,
will.
it will. Okay. Thank you. Another anonymous. Hi, Kathy and Susan. I need some help with my son. He's 14 and really struggles with trying to regulate his stress or his emotions. He has so many outbursts and fights with me and my husband constantly. Is this really just what teenagers are like? I have no idea how to talk to him. I've tried to encourage him seeing a therapist or use his time at the gym to get his stress out, but it always results in him shutting down and locking himself in his room. What do I do? Thanks so much.
So again, this for me,
Professional. I think he needs.
this mom, you need to take charge here. He's
Yes.
14, teenage. You're right on all counts.
Yes.
Anonymous.
And it is teenagers.
It is teenagers. However, that doesn't mean that he doesn't need help. It doesn't mean that he's going to be fine and he's going to outgrow it. Again, Susan and I are not
he
therapists.
could have some serious issues that he might need medication or at least somebody to medically to assess him.
Right. So when she says, I've been trying to encourage him to see a therapist, Anonymous, no. You are the parent. You make the appointment with a therapist. You pick your son up from school. You take him into the office. And you know what? He may sit there and clam up and say nothing to this man or woman, whoever the therapist is, for 2 or 3 weeks. But eventually, once he feels like he can trust the person, and that's what they're trained to do, is get kids trust. What I wouldn't do is do nothing. That's what I wouldn't do.
Not. Absolutely not.
So,
I mean, it could be full-blown depression. It could have anger issues. I mean, you don't know. We're not doctors. People study this and they know.
You know, I said this was a hard topic for me. I will say teenagers, love them. I had 3 of them. They can be total pains in the ass, Anonymous.
Yes,
but having said that, you can't always chalk up a child's behavior to being a pain in the ass teenager.
Yes.
So
once again, don't assume.
Yeah. I'd get some help for him, and don't ask him if he wants to go. You know, take him. You're the parent. Be the parent. Take charge.
And you want to do it now because he's 14. If you wait till 18, you don't know what happens.
No,
you know?
sweetie. If you wait till 18,
control.
you have no control. They're legal adults. You can't force them to do anything.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's go to question. Our next question is from another Anonymous. Hi, Susan and Kathy. I have no idea where to start and I need help. I just found out that my husband has been living a secret life. He has another family across the country in the city where he has his quarterly conferences, if those are even real. He has a fiance and a son with this other woman. I found out after snooping through his laptop, following my gut, that something was off. Now he has no idea that I know. What do I do next? Thanks, ladies. Susan, do not get your baseball bat out.
That's so hurtful. Oh my God. You have to sit them down and let them know you know. I mean, I'm not the one that's going to blame the
You know what I would do?
That woman doesn't know either. I'm certain. You need to sit him down. It's over. I can tell you that.
Well, that's white and black.
You said.
Well, no, what I would do, if it were me, I would go to a therapist and I would explain to the therapist what's happened and ask a therapist how's the best way to handle it, because I would be angry, hurt, all of the things, and I wouldn't trust myself to sit down in a calm way. And furthermore, you don't know what his reaction is going to be. You don't know what's going to happen when you tell him. So I don't know. I'm just saying that could be a very volatile situation. So I might say, you know, Johnny, whatever your husband's name is, I'm having an issue. And I would like you to come with me to talk to a therapist about it. Well, you know, I would try to get him into a therapist's office and have a third party break the news and have a conversation in the office. That's what I would do.
I'd fly the girl in and say, let's the 3 of us talk.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh my God. I swear to God, I could never be Italian, ever. Because I swear, I mean, I could never do half the stuff you say and you're Italian. So I don't know.
I mean, nip it in the butt. Of course.
What do you mean nip it in the butt?
Hasn't told him that she knows. So that's very strong of her right now because you react and she hasn't. She's sleeping with this. She's thinking about it, that hopefully she has time to find her calm and accept what's happening. But for me, that marriage is over. Okay.
See, I can't even get there. Her choice of words. He has a fiance. No, darling. He has a wife. and a concubine. She's not a fiance because he's married to you. So you cannot have two wives. The fact that he has a child with her, I have to be honest, Anonymous, you are not the first wife who has a husband.
Yes,
can I just, this is a tough episode. Can I just lighten it? When I lived in Houston, my dentist, I'm not going to mention their names, there were two players on the Houston Rockets basketball team. I'm sorry, one player on the Houston Rockets team who had two wives, two families living in Houston. I didn't know it, but one day I was in the dentist's office and the wife number one is there with her kids. And all of a sudden I'm in the chair and I hear this commotion. Who did that? Get him out of here. I was getting scared. I was kind of friends with my hygienist. So she said to me, it's his other family. They have strict instructions to never book them. They knew each other existed, to never book them on the same day. So they walk in, they were all in the waiting room. I almost choked on the toothpaste. I had to walk out. Can I tell you, the receptionist that booked him, she was fired on the spot for doing everybody. I mean, so it happens is my point.
Yes, it does. It does. I have friends that found out he had children from somebody else.
So whether your marriage is over or not is immaterial until you two can focus on the break in trust and his lack of integrity and blah, 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 all of those important things. But I think you need professional help to deal with that. I don't think that's something you tackle on your own.
It depends on who she is and how strong of a woman she is, how bad. Yeah, if you're not going to fly off the handle and kill them, I mean, God forbid.
I think it's really tough. And Anonymous, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're sorry. I know we're sorry. Let us know. Let us know what happens. The fact that your gut was telling you something was off, it's probably been going on a whole lot longer than you think it has. And you know what? There might be another one. I mean, he might just be a profligate. He's got women in every town, whatever. So figure it out.
Your business deploys AI pilots.
Let's talk about pregnancy prevention, vaginal bleeding. Or death, especially if
they absolutely cannot be met instantly. And always be sure to check the
20% lower, and you get
fun. I personally love hanging out with friends in the backyard. Sip easy.
And we're going to switch off reading the questions.
Oh, thank goodness.
This was a tough one. So we're going to
New York.
All right, Kathy, instead of a game today, we wanted to end off this episode a little more lighthearted.
Oh, thank goodness.
This was a tough one. So we're going to be just answering some questions about us and our friendship. So you all can get to know us a little bit better. And we're going to switch off reading the questions, but we'll both answer every one of them. Okay? I'm going to start us off. What's a fond memory you have from when you first became a parent?
Oh, for me, it was holding my first son, my first child for the very first time, looking at my husband and realizing we created this beautiful human being. I'll never forget it.
Mine was a daughter, and that's exactly right. It was in that hospital room, looking how beautiful. And she was perfect, and her hair, and she had 10 fingers and 10 toes. We did this.
And do you know, Susan, I remember my oldest son was born 10 days early, and he was a forceps delivery. So he was red, and, and I still laugh about this. When he came out, I said, oh my God, he's the most beautiful baby. I feel so sorry for parents who don't have a beautiful child. And then I went back and looked at the picture when he was born. Oh my God, he looked like something the cat dragged in.
That was my Christopher, who's only 3 pounds. I go, oh my God, he looks like a chicken.
Yeah, but I didn't say that. I just thought he was, anyway, being a parent, especially for the first time, what a gift. All right. If you could give your 30-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Trust your instincts.
That's a good one. Mine would be, you got a lot of life left to live. Embrace every minute. Yeah.
Don't sweat the small stuff. All right. What's a passion or hobby you picked up after turning 50?
Dating.
golfing, to play golf. That was
Really?
after.
No, I was kidding about dating. Passion. Pickleball.
Oh yeah,
Boxing. I couldn't stick with it too long.
I
Boxing.
did that under 50.
I don't know. I'm saying those two for sure. Definitely not cooking. I can tell you that. All right. What's one misconception? You and I are
Go
going to have
ahead,
the same
keep
answer
reading.
on this. We're going to have the same answer. What's one misconception people often have about women in their 60s? Are we
That
thinking the
they
same?
think we're done. We're never done.
Oh, mine was more specific. That women over 60 don't like sex. That is a misconception.
Oh my God, yeah. Sorry. Are you kidding me? It's better at 60 than it was at 40.
I mean, that's just funny. I think people don't understand women in their 60s unless they date one or are married to one. Okay.
That's right. All right. What's your proudest accomplishment that no one ever asks you about?
You know what? Back to the serious nature of this thing. I came from a pretty abusive family. Not pretty, very abusive. My mother was very abusive. But people, if they don't know it.
Yeah, why would they ask? If they don't know?
So the people that don't know, my friends know. But my proudest accomplishment is that I didn't fall into the abusive trap and abuse my children the way she abused me. I was a really good parent. I wasn't a perfect parent. My kids will tell you, but my
None
kids,
of us are,
my
Kathy,
kids
none
know
of
they're
us.
loved and cared for. So that's my proudest accomplishment.
All right. What's something about your co-host?
Excuse me. What's your proudest accomplishment?
Well, it's not my proudest accomplishment that nobody ever asked. Everybody has always asked whatever I've done. I've never had nobody not ask. So I
And if
really
they didn't ask, you were willing to tell them.
Yes.
All right,
They
moving on.
don't know. I'm going to tell them
That's
what
right.
it is.
All right, go on.
What's something about your co-host? That would be me. That would surprise new listeners.
I don't want to say it. I'll tell you later. No, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I don't think you'd want listeners to know it. Let me see if I can come up with a light one here.
I have something about you. What's
All right,
something
go.
about you that would surprise new listeners? She's definitely not as hard as she seems sometimes.
Oh,
She's got a
thank
huge heart.
Thank you. What I was going to say is that Susan is, people always say you're kind and easygoing and lovely, and you are all those things, but you're not as easygoing as people think you are. Am I
I'm not.
right? No, you're not. That's not an insult. I'm saying you like things done a certain way. Oh, come on.
Okay.
I'm
As
just saying.
far as I keep my house and things.
No, just
yes.
in general, like you come across
I'm
as
a
this,
type A.
yes, you're a type A. People think of you. Oh, people say to me all the time, I love Susan. She's a go with the flow
Do you
girl.
think new listeners wouldn't know that about me?
I think most people think you are, and you are fun and jovial and have a big heart
Yeah,
and love
yeah.
to live and live life big. But you also
But I don't
like
tolerate
things.
ignorance, and I don't
You
tolerate.
you like things structured and regimented.
Yes,
Some I just
yes.
think people would be surprised to know that.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. If you had to describe your co-host in 3 words, what would they be? Go ahead. You want to go first?
Okay, funny, direct, and kind.
Oh, okay. I actually think those are fair. I would say for you, bubbly. I would also say kind and empathetic.
Oh, That's a curse. Yes.
You are.
Extremely.
Sometimes too much.
Yes.
But before though, all right, we're going to keep going here. But go
All
ahead.
right.
All right, go ahead.
What's the biggest difference between you two?
Oh,
And
God.
what's one thing you're weirdly similar about?
I mean, the biggest difference right now is Susan has a boyfriend and I don't, but we're going to remedy that.
To me, the biggest difference is I love food. I like to
that's
cook.
true.
I live to eat. And Kathy is the polar opposite. She doesn't care. She doesn't cook. And everything tastes the same. It's beyond me.
That's true. Although I do like to go out for a nice meal, Susan. I do.
But what are we weirdly similar about? How important friendships are.
Yes,
And
how
we
important
have
people-
each other's back.
Yep.
Yes.
And how important people are in our life. And I honestly think we're both very empathetic.
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
What's a memorable moment you two have shared that made you realize you had a special connection?
How much time do we have?
I was just going to say, oh my God, there's been some funny ones. Like
hysterical.
The date in Florida when you made me go with you. The date in St. Martin when you met Frederica made me go
you
with
had
you.
to speak French, Spanish, and English.
Yeah. I mean, I think anybody who
When
will
I
go with
joined you as your guest for your son's wedding.
Yep. Well, you officiated
That was
it.
memorable.
That was
but
very memorable. I would say we're getting ready to take a cruise. That's
Yes.
going to be a lot of memorable moments
next
there.
week we'll talk about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What's your favorite drink to have at a nice bar or restaurant? Oh, Kathy,
Let's answer it for each other.
It's dirty water.
No,
or something.
ranch water. She's
ranch water.
I drink ranch water, which is tequila, soda, and lime, or I'll drink vodka. Susan is a Grand Marnier girl. She will drink
That's
red
the
wine.
end, though.
She'll drink red wine. I know.
Yes.
Well, I know you. She'll
And
drink
sometimes a martini, a French martini.
Yeah, sometimes a seven.
Yes.
What do you call? What's a 768 or something? What are they called?
What's
a number.
That's Jones. That's Jones.
Oh, whatever.
Drink. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
What's a belief or opinion What's a belief or opinion you've changed your mind about over the years?
Well, I know mine.
What's yours?
Hooking up.
What about it?
I now know what it really means. I used to think it was just,
Oh, God.
hanging out, kissing somebody. It's sex, and I had no idea. So I've changed my opinion.
I think French, that thing is called a French 75. It just came to me.
Yes.
That's what it's called, a French 75. Okay. I think, I'm not sure that I've changed my belief. I've just become a lot softer and a lot more understanding and tolerant of people's opinions. I think when I was younger, I know the right way it should be. Now I'm tolerant. People, you're entitled to your belief. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to convince somebody that I'm right. I'm right for me, maybe not for them.
That's right. What's something you're still learning about yourself even now?
Ooh. I think just how I can be the best version of myself every day and other people see it. I don't know. What would you say?
What I'm still learning about me
Yeah.
is I've always been okay with me and never realized it. And I'm learning how I can be okay with who I am,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. Wait,
I have to say, well, I'm sorry to interrupt. It just occurred to me. You triggered me when you said that. I think I'm learning that I am stronger than I ever thought I was. And still learning that I can still grow, be stronger, and have a soft side to me too.
I agree with that. What does success mean to you today compared to when you were younger?
I think when we were younger, it was about having a great career, making money, having the expensive toys or the nice toys or the nice trips. What does success mean to you today?
Just what it always has. You succeed, you go try to do something and you succeed at it. That's what it is. I don't think it's changed.
For me, success today means what we alluded to earlier, seeing my children be good human beings, give back to their community, it makes me realize that I was a successful parent. It's not about accumulation anymore. It's about passing the torch to my kids. All right. What's a risk? Oh, if you don't know how to answer this one, Susan, what's a risk you took that paid off in ways you never expected? I want you to think. There's only one answer here. Oh, dear. Can I answer it for you?
Opening my heart up for
Frederic. What's a risk you took? Let me be a little more clear for you, for the rest of the world. Going to meet a man in a bar in a strange country that you didn't speak the same language, and
open it up and doing it.
And you fell in love. That is a big risk, and it paid off in ways you never expected. You have a man you love in St. Martin. What's a risk I took? Going to the bar with you, hoping he had a brother. And he didn't. It didn't pay off. Okay. What legacy or feeling do you hope listeners walk away with after each episode?
My feeling is I hope every time that we help whoever sent in these questions and the people that we have on, our guests that come and chat with us, that we made them feel good and proud of who they are.
Yeah. I agree with all that. And I would,
I got to have a few laughs.
Yeah, we laughed, but I would add that people, except maybe with the exception of this episode, which is still very important. People walk away feeling entertained and happy. We brought some joy, laughter into their life for the half hour.
That's why we're
maybe
here.
they got some good advice. They got to know us better. They had some fun, it didn't cost them anything but turning on their, but I want to say that, and that's valuable, right? I want to say though, before we wrap this up, mental health is unfortunately still somewhat of a taboo subject. It's better than it used to be, but anybody out there struggling,
talk about it
themselves or with a partner or your children, get help.
Yes, talk about it. Absolutely.
Get help from someone.
And you know what? Thank you everybody for joining us today. This was not as easy as all of our other episodes because we like to have fun, but this is very serious and we take it very serious.
Yeah. So be sure to follow Bachelor Happy Hour because we have new episodes coming out every week and we promise to bring the fun back next time. We promise.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Make sure you're submitting your questions to us and you know how to do it. Go to bachelornation.com/golden hour. Or DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour.
Listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Till next time, have a great week.
See you.